All right, so you may remember last week I talked about Frank Sanchez versus Moses Itauma, and why I was talking about that was it was reported that Moses Itauma actually turned down the opportunity to face Frank Sanchez in a final eliminator to become mandatory for Alexander Usyk. Now, I did say in that video that I'm a little bit confused because Chisora, the last I checked, was enlisted as mandatory. So is this a second mandatory? It's a very convoluted matter with the IBF. I don't get it. It's a bit confusing, I'm not going to lie. That was stemming from the fact that FA Ajagba had basically refused or turned down the opportunity to face Frank Sanchez in a rematch, so they went down the rankings, and obviously Itauma is next in line. Well, Itauma turned that down. Now, interestingly enough, Richard Torres Jr. is below Itauma in the rankings, so you would imagine that he would be the next person that they would ask. Well, apparently not, because Daniel Dubois, this is from Sky Sports News actually, Sky Sports Boxing News, Daniel Dubois is targeting Alexander Usyk's IBF title after accepting a final eliminator against Frank Sanchez. Daniel Dubois has stepped in to face Frank Sanchez in an IBF final eliminator, with the winner becoming mandatory challenger for Alexander Usyk. Dubois was stopped by Usyk in Wembley Stadium in the rematch this summer. FA Ajagba, Moses Itauma and Richard Torres Jr. turned down the eliminator bout with Sanchez. That would explain because Daniel Dubois is ranked number 7, one below Torres, who apparently has turned it down. I don't begrudge Richard Torres turning that down. I think he'd get absolutely battered at this stage in his career by Frank Sanchez. Daniel Dubois is targeting Alexander Usyk's IBF heavyweight title after accepting a final eliminator against Frank Sanchez. Dubois has agreed to negotiate a fight with Frank Sanchez, with the winner becoming mandatory challenger for Alexander Usyk, the IBF, WBC, WBO and WBA heavyweight champion, after a string of potential challengers turned down the IBF bout against the Cuban. FA Ajagba was floored in a points loss, rejected a rematch in the form of an IBF eliminator, while Britain's red-hot contender Moses Itauma is considering different options, and Richard Torres Jr. has been next in line to be offered a fight against Frank Sanchez. Dubois, ranked number 7, has seized the opportunity to potentially enforce the trilogy fight with Alexander Usyk. We all want to see that, after losing the IBF belt in a 5th round stoppage to the Ukrainian in their rematch at Wembley last July. The Londoner must overcome Sanchez, who is guided by Saul Canelo Alvarez's trainer Eddie Reynoso and has racked up 25 victories with a solitary loss to Ajit Kabayel while hampered with a knee injury, and a very bad knee injury at that, because Sanchez, I think personally he would have won that fight had he been fully fit. That's just my opinion, but we'll never know. Negotiations will take place between Dubois and Sanchez to agree terms for a deal by October 22nd. That doesn't mean they're going to fight then. It just means they need to have it in place by then. Otherwise it goes to purse bids. You would imagine it shouldn't be a problem, but let's wait and see. If both fighters cannot reach an agreement, then the purse bid will be ordered by the IBF. Dubois was installed as IBF champion after Alexander Usyk vacated the title last June of last year, I should say, and made an emphatic defence against Anthony Joshua, dramatically stopping his British rival in the 5th round in Wembley Stadium last year. Usyk has confirmed he's entering the final stages of his career and has already been issued with a mandatory title fight commitments to the winner of Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. The winner will earn a shot at the WBO title. A recent statement by Sergei Lapin, the CEO of Ready to Fight, Usyk's promotional company, suggested that the 38-year-old is considering new opportunities. It reads, Usyk has earned the time to recover, and after that, fans will see him back in the ring, ready for great fights. Right now, our team are concerned with new opportunities and exciting locations to stage another fight for the undisputed champion of the world. In the meantime, we wish both men, Parker and Wardley, good luck. May the best men win, yada, yada, yada. That's the end of the article. So, we have until October 22nd for them to agree terms. After that, it will go to a purse bid. As I said, I would imagine they probably should be okay to agree terms. But this is interesting because Daniel Dubois, coming in off the back of that devastating knockout defeat where he was really battered from pillar to post, let's be real, by Alexander Usyk, stopped in the 5th round, towel thrown in, all that stuff. For him to just go straight back in, and it has to be said, he's done this before, you know. When he lost to Joe Joyce, he had a couple of easy touches. I think it was Bogdan Dinu, who was, you know, everyone stopped Bogdan Dinu. But when he lost to Usyk the first time, straight in with Jarrell Miller. And that was what he needed. Now, Frank Sanchez is a different kettle of fish altogether. It's arguably a tougher challenge because Miller was a pudding in that fight. He was there to be hit. He still gave as good as he got, but he wasn't hard to find. Frank Sanchez could not be more opposite. He's a mover. He's a boxer. He's fast. He can punch. Honestly, the Frank Sanchez who fought F.A. Ajagba in 2021 on the undercard of Fury versus Wilder 3, I would take him to beat Daniel Dubois. I would take him to beat actually any version of Daniel Dubois. But the problem is he's coming off the back of a bad knee injury. I mean, that knee injury against Ajay Kabayel did look bad. It definitely hampered him. So, and again, you have to look at Frank Sanchez and say, okay, I think he's officially 33 years old. All right. No comment. But I think it's showing signs that he is aging a little bit more so than your typical 33-year-old, or 32 as he would have been at the time. So I think it's winnable for Dubois. I have to say credit to him, because a lot of fighters after a loss like that would want to come back slowly but surely, you know, regain their confidence, see where their head's at, see where their headspace is at. Given the fact he's probably going to be changing trainers, we're hearing Tony Sims, nothing official yet. I know Frank Warren said that, but, you know, there's a lot to dissect with Daniel Dubois, but apparently no, he wants to get his belt back. He wants another crack at Usyk, although I don't want to see it again. I've seen it twice and it's been one-sided both times. He still believes that there's something there. So for him to want to go back in against, again, a very dangerous opponent like Frank Sanchez is no joke. He's been a dark horse for a long time. And what? You think the Ajay Kabayel fight, you know, oh, that's who Frank Sanchez, he's terrible. Man had literally one leg. His leg was in a brace. Like he was never going to win that fight. He just wanted the bag. And I guess you could say, oh, well, that's questionable heart. I mean, yeah, I guess, because, you know, he just literally wanted to go there for a bag. Fair enough. But, you know, on his day, he's a formidable fighter. He really is. And we've seen how Daniel Dubois doesn't particularly like movers. Alexander Usyk. Now, Frank Sanchez isn't the same kind of mover. I think he's an orthodox for one. But he is still a nightmare's work for any fighter. So if this does happen, I think it's actually a great way to, well, if Daniel Dubois can get the win, I think it's a great way to return to the world scene. I really do. And it's a mega interesting fight. So I have no problem with this fight at all, to be honest with you. I think it's interesting. You could argue that it's a bit, and look, if this was one thing you wanted to gripe at, I'd say understandably so. You could turn around and say, well, he's coming at the back of a loss. It's pretty crap that he can go straight into an eliminator. Fair enough. I'll give you that one. But last thing I want to talk about before we finish, what the hell is going on with Chisora then? Because 1 minute he's mandatory, he's number 2 ranked officially. So what's he doing? Has he told the IBF, look, I might be mandatory, but I ain't going to fight in a world title fight. I'm going to have my next fight against whoever, and then I'm going to retire? If he's done that, then fair enough, I understand why they're doing this. If they've 2 mandatories, then it's just, what do you do? So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Until next time, people, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could, smash the like button, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. People, until next time, I'll leave it there. Peace.